Shalom, the beloved of Yah. Welcome to Torah Gym. Sekula. Did you know, brother, you are a treasured possession according to the book of Malachi. Well, today I got another beautiful one for you. The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. I quote Matthew 23, verse 2 to 3. The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Therefore, whatever they tell you to observe, that observe and do. But do not do according to their works, for they say and do not do. This verse has tripped up many believers. And I tell you, I'm one of those. I couldn't understand it for a long time. But today, I'm going to bring you the correct version. For a long time, many people have sought ways to try and get around this translation because they know it's wrong, but they don't know how to fix it. They don't know what is the meaning here. If we follow what the English translation suggests, we should all obey the rabbis today, who are the descendants of the scribes and the Pharisees, because this command emanates from Yeshua. If you read it very clearly, he's telling us, obey the rabbis. Many of you will be cringing and say, that cannot be possible, but read the text for yourself. In fact, it means you should be attending a synagogue. Therefore, we must understand what the Messiah is really saying here. First, what is Moses' seat? There's a lot of discussion on the meaning of Moses' seat on the internet. Some say this was a seat in a synagogue where the rabbis and the scribes would teach. Others say this was a seat in the temple where the scribes and the priests would teach the people. The problem with this idea is that there is no evidence that the seat of Moses was the sole place for reading Torah in a synagogue or the temple. Further, there is no evidence that in the seat of Moses, one could be required only to read the Torah and not give any personal interpretation or instruction. So what we see here is there is a confusion as to what exactly is the seat of Moses. Nobody knows really what it is because there is no temple today. So we have to content with going and looking at other passages in the scripture to understand what the seat of Moses is. Moreover, this is completely contrary to the example of Yeshua in Luke 4 and common Jewish practice. In Luke 4, Yeshua goes into synagogue to read from the scroll of the prophet Isaiah, Yeshayahu. It says in this verse 16 that he stood up to read the scroll, and says in verse 20 that he sat down after. Verse 21 shows that after sitting back down, Yeshua began to speak. So this cannot be the meaning of the seat of Moses. So what is it? The seat of Moses is an idiomatic expression, meaning the authority of Moses that was handed down from generation to generation among the priesthood. It is about the office. It is about this authority, this scriptural authority that was passed from generation to generation of Israelite priests. That is the seat of Moses. We see glimpses of this meaning in Deuteronomy 16, Proverbs 31, 3, 2 Samuel 19, 8, Job 29, 7 to 10. Go and have a read for yourself and you will see what the meaning of the seat of Moses is there. What is this authority? This is about the written Torah, which Yeshua regarded as the sole authority in everything. What Yeshua was instructing is this: as long as the scribes and the Pharisees reading from the written Torah and interpreting it correctly, then obey them. But because they don't observe and interpret the written Torah correctly, you cannot follow them. So the Messiah, Yeshua here, was talking about the Torah of Moshe. This is the final authority in all things. The confusion is solved by understanding who are the they in Matthew 23, verse 3. The day is a he, according to two manuscripts of Shem Tov, Hebrew Matthew, meaning Moshe or Moses. If you still prefer that the correct reading is day, then it still makes perfect sense what the Greek is saying, because it refers to the Moses seat, because the written Torah is plural in the Old Covenant, Torah in many places in the Torah. So this is how Matthew 23, verse 2 to 3 should have been translated. And I quote from the Restored Version. The Sophrim and Pushim sit in Moses' seat, and all that Moshe says to you, observe and do, but do not do according to their works, for they say, but do not do. It is so clear there. We are told to obey the written Torah, the meaning of Moses' seat. When that translation is there, everything makes perfect sense. All we have to do is go back to the written Torah. When you know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Praise you, Hevahem.